grinned. "A mite touchy, are we?" "Sure, kid. Whatever you want." "I'm happy to oblige a friend of Tyler's." Picking up his cards, he shot a barb at the tall gambler. "Your protege has a lot to learn, doesn't he?" Adam Tyler frowned, and so did Zach. He was upset at himself for letting the gambler down. His only excuse was that he was new to the game. He'd only developed a passion for it in the last couple of days. So yes, he would be the first to admit he had a lot to learn. But he wanted to acquit himself proudly, if for no other reason than to prove to Adam that he was worthy of the gambler's time and instruction. Tyler suddenly pushed a pile of chips to the center of the table. "I open at 200, gentlemen." The other two players glanced at one another. Brack blinked, then began counting his own chips. "Isn't that a little steep? The usual amount's been 20. "I have a good hand," Tyler said. "If you want to see exactly how good, put up or shut up." Brack leaned back, his thick brows knitting. "Now I've heard everything. The great Adam Tyler bragging about his cards before anyone else has even bet. Only a beginner like this breed would be so foolish. What are you up to, Tyler?" "It'll cost you 300 to find out." "A challenge? Is that what this is?" Brack laughed coldly. "Very well. I'll see your 300 and raise you another 50. Zach laid down his cards. He had come into the game with $30 to his name and was another 30 ahead. He intended to stay ahead, too, in order to prove to Louisa that wagering at cards could be profitable. The other two players also folded, leaving Tyler and the troublemaker. "I'll see you," the former said, and held up a single finger. Zach dealt Tyler a card. Brack requested 2. The stakes rose to $420. At last the moment of truth came, and Brack, smirking, laid down a straight, all hearts. "Beat that if you can." Adam Tyler showed his hand one card at a time. In a neat row, he lined up 4 kings and the 2 of diamonds, then raked in the pot. "I thank you, gentlemen, for an evening's diversion. Now, my young friend and I must excuse ourselves." Brack wasn't pleased. "You're leaving without giving us a chance to win our money back? That's hardly sporting." "Poker is a game of chance, not a charity," Tyler said. "After all these years, you still have a lot to learn, don't you?" Having his own question thrown into his face angered Brack, but he tried hard not to show it. "Another time, then, Tyler. Bring the pup along. I might as well fleece the both of you as one. And think of what it'll do for my reputation." Tyler rose and slipped his wallet into an inner pocket. "We're all well aware of your reputation," he stated with a smile. Yet he somehow contrived to make it the most insulting remark of all. Taking his wide-brimmed black hat from a peg on the wall, he said, "Come along, Zachary. We shouldn't keep your fiancée waiting." They waded through dense clouds of cigar and cigarette smoke and out the grand double doors of the Golden Bough. Tyler adjusted his hat while striding down the steps. "You did well in there, son. You controlled your temper admirably." It was past 11 at night, yet carriages and pedestrians bustled by in a steady stream. After a week in St. Louis, Zach still couldn't get over how many people there were and how they never seemed to sleep. "You don't think much of Brack, do you?" "I don't think